Hey, welcome in everybody. So in this video, I want to start working on the exterior elevation. So what I want to do first is I want to go to my south elevation. So I'm going to double click the south elevation here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So the first thing I notice in my elevations right now is I don't want these arrows showing in my windows. So I'm going to left click on a window and go to where you see indicator visibility. Let me stretch this thing out if I can. So indicator visibility, I want to uncheck that. And then do the same thing for this window. Uncheck the indicator visibility. And then also you notice that we don't have, we have our building, but it's kind of floating, so we don't have a ground. So that's probably the next thing that I want to do is add a ground so that our building can sit on top of it, right? So what we want to do there is I'm going to go to site plan. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And then I'm going to go up to the top where you see massing and site. And I'm going to click on topo solid. Click the arrow underneath it. So I want to create from sketch. And so I'll probably zoom out a little bit more. So what I want to do is I'm just going to draw a rectangle, but before I do that, my height for my ground is going to be -4 inches because it goes underneath our foundation, right? So -4 inches, and then I'm going to create a rectangle. So I'm just going to randomly draw a rectangle around our building here. We'll probably come back in later and edit this, but just for now I just kind of I didn't worry about the dimensions, just kind of drew a rectangle. And then click the green check mark. And so also what I want to do while I'm here is I'm going to go to where you see edit type. And so you see our default thickness for our ground is only 1 foot deep. So I'm going to click on edit. I'm going to make this structure. This is going to be our earth. So I'm going to select over here. I'm going to scroll down. I want this to be what I'm looking for. I'm going to select earth. Click OK. So my thickness, this is really, the thickness, what's the thickness of the earth? I don't know, but you don't need to put the actual thickness of the earth here. I'm just going to put like 20 feet. And then I want to add a top layer to it, so it could either be grass, concrete, whatever. I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to click on the number 2 and move this up. This is going to be a finish layer. And then for the material, this is going to be, I want this to be grass. So I'm going to click the plus here to create a new material. I'm going to create a new material, right click, edit. No, I don't want to edit. I want to rename it. Sorry. I want to rename this as grass. And then I'm going to click on this icon, which is opens, closes asset browser. I'm going to go over to our appearance library. Where did I see that grass at earlier? I was snooping around. So this is going to be, site work. Yeah, site work. Scroll down. There's going to be a bunch of different grass types. So I'm going to select the grass generic. And then I'm going to click on these little arrows to the right. And that's going to apply our generic grass onto our newly created material here. So hit OK. Now the thickness for our grass, I don't know. It depends on if you mowed it, lately or not. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to put this as just 1 inch. Sometimes grass can get really tall, but for our purposes, I'm just going to make this 1 inch just so it kind of shows up. I'm going to hit OK. Hit OK. So now you can't see our grass, but I think if I go to change it to textures, now you can see our grass shows up. Let me put that back to hidden line. So now if I go back to my 3D view, you can kind of see that. Now we have ground, we have grass going around. There's kind of the earth underneath, looking pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my south view here. Zoom out a little bit. Let me go down to where you see the graphic displays. I'm going to change this to textures. So just to be kind of cool, like if you go down to where you see shadows, not the sunlight here, not this one, but the next one, we can turn on shadows. Kind of adds like a little cool effect to it. Now normally you wouldn't show that in your working drawings, but I mean we can do it in the meantime. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So these levels, I'm going to click on them, kind of drag them over closer to our building. The foundation, right now our foundation is set for -1'3". I'm going to change this to, if I can double click on this, nope, it's not going to let me. Let me hit the escape key a couple of times. All right, let me drag this back out. It wants to be kind of goofy. Now I can double click on that. I'm going to change this to -1 foot. And then what I want to do is, see how they're like kind of on top of each other? We don't like that. So this little broken little gizmo thingy here, I'm just going to click on it. And now it kind of creates a little bend there. So I want to drag this arrow, or not arrow, I want to drag this dot over. I want to drag this dot to where it's before the text actually starts. So it kind of looks something like this. And now I'm going to click these and drag these back. So if I just click one of the dots and drag them all closer to the building. Like so. I want to add another one actually. So I want to add another level to the top of the windows. So I'm going to go to architecture. I'm going to click on level. Now it's important you want to uncheck where it says make plan view. I want to uncheck that because I don't need a plan view for that. And this is going to be 6'8", but I'm just going to kind of start it over here in line with these other ones and drag it over in line with the other ones where you see it kind of lock in there. Hit the escape key. I'm going to zoom in. So this height is going to be 6'8". And then I'm going to call this, this is going to be the head height. So HD, HT. So it's kind of the top of your doors and windows. Like I said, we don't need it to be over here in our plans. It's just kind of a marker. And then I think we're good with that for now. Also, let me zoom out. I'm going to click on this level line and drag these over closer to our building, like so. We're going to come in and add some notes to this in just a minute. But first what I want to do is I'm going to put a roof on top of our building. So to do that, we're going to go to our roof plan, double click on roof plan. Now you don't see anything here, so why is that? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to where it says range base level none. I'm going to change it to foundation. Maybe not foundation, change it to first floor. There we go, first floor. Okay, so that kind of lightly shows us our floor plan of our walls. So now we know where to put our roof at. So let me zoom in a little bit. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to architecture. I'm going to click on the roof by footprint. And I want to, what kind of roof do I want? So I don't want the basic roof, generic 12-inch. I'm going to change that to, what do I want? I'm going to change it to wood rafter. Let's go 8-inch asphalt shingle here. What else do we need? Let's see, the overhang, I'm going to change this to 2 feet. and extends to wall core. I'm gonna leave that on check for now. Yeah, we're good there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go to where you see pick walls, and I'm going to select the outside of each wall. And I don't want my slope to be 912, so I'm going to change this. Change the slope. I'm going to change the slope to 612, and then click the other walls. So all the walls are gonna have a slope on it. So again, this one needs to be 612. All right, so they're all sloped. They're all offset 2 feet from the outside wall. We're good. I'm gonna hit the green check mark. Our roof pops in. So now we go over our 3D view. Click out of it. So there's our, ooh, look at that. That looks nice. So I'm gonna go back to my south elevation here. Let me click on the roof. Let's see what we can do. I'm just gonna experiment and see what it looks like. So for rafter cut, it's 2 cut plumb. Let me see what these other ones do. So plumb cut, I don't see nothing. 2 cut square. Okay, I definitely don't want that. I'm gonna leave with 2 cut plumb. The fascia depth is 10. Maybe we don't want that to be 10 inches. Maybe this is 8 inches. Or it says rafter or truss. I don't want a truss. I want to click this to rafter. Yeah, that should lower our roof line down a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. So, okay, so to add our notes, what I want to do is I'm going to go to where you see annotate, and I'm going to go to click on the text. So I want where it says 2 segments, the leader that says 2 segments here. And what I want to do is I'm going to zoom in here in this area. So, all right, so I want to click my first point to be somewhere on this siding here and drag it straight up, or not straight up, but kind of at an angle, and then level it off to the right. And so my notation for this is going to be, we're going to try to sound real fancy. So I'm going to put fiber, capital letters though, capital letters, fiber, cement, clapboard, siding. I'm gonna hit the return. I'm gonna put width, backslash 6-inch exposure. And then I'm gonna left click out of it. Where can we move this? I don't know. Let's cancel out of this. Now I click it. So you can either, if you want to move with the arrow up or down, I think that's pretty good. What about this? Maybe line this up with these. Stretch this out. I'm trying to get artistic where these are kind of lined up. So, but if I click on these, those are lined up already. Let me move this up a little bit more. Let me move this up to here. Nope, not that. I want to move this up. Move this. Yeah, there we go. Move that up. I'm trying to leave space for the corner trim here. So now I'm going to add another one. Annotate, text, same leader. So here I'm going to point to the corner trim. Maybe put it here, drag it up a little bit. Maybe keep those bends in line with each other. Then come straight across here. And then here is going to be, we're going to try to sound fancy again. So this is going to be 1x6 fiber cement, corner, trim, and then click the modify to get out of that. Yeah, now that I look at this, I want to click this and kind of move this closer here. Click my arrow band and move it back. Same thing with this one. Click this, click it. I'm gonna grab this little move thingy, line those up, move this back. I think not only when you're creating your working drawing, it's not only like you're trying to tell people how this building is to be constructed, but it's also kind of like creating an artwork as well. At least for me it is. So I'm trying to make this kind of like, where it's easy to read and kind of looks nice. I'm still not too convinced of all this is. I really want these to be lined up somehow, but our information is there. So I think we're good there. What else do we need? I want to maybe try to add a dimension from the edge of this building to our roof and drag that up. So that should be 2 feet. And I don't want to change the dimension to make it what I want it to be. I want it to actually be what it is. So let me think about this. I think what I did here is this is measured from the edge of the corner trim, not the edge of the building. Right, so I believe that's the reason why. And because we don't want to measure to a hidden line, so we don't want to measure to a line that's behind this trim, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the modify. So I'm 3/4 of an inch off, right? So I'm going to go back to my roof plan. I'm going to click on this roof here. I'm going to go to edit footprint. And I want to move these lines 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to make I can do an offset, right? Offset, yeah. Click on offset and then change this to 3/4 of an inch. I'm being real picky here, I know. I'm going to click on these lines to offset them. Make sure you offset them to the outside. So we have that. Now what we need to do is I'm hit the modify. We need to get rid of these inside lines. Just delete them. Select them and delete them. Because when I measure the 2-foot overhang, it's measured from this outside of this wall, but in my elevation, it's measured from the outside of this corner piece. So that's what's throwing us off by 3/4 of an inch. But I'm just gonna do that. Hit the check mark. One or more reference dimensions have become invalid. We're gonna delete dimension. Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna go back to my south elevation. Yeah, that dimension was what they were talking about. But now I can go back in and you click on the align. I'm gonna click this. Now we're 2 feet. Hit the modify. There we go. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in on this dimension that we just made. I'm gonna double click on it. And you're gonna get this dimension text box that pops up. So we're gonna keep the actual value, so we don't wanna change that. But in the text fields here, I'm gonna change where it says suffix, not change, but I'm gonna add overhang, OH, parentheses, OH, period, parentheses, or close parentheses. And then below, I'm gonna put typical, TYP, period. Click apply, hit OK. So that just tells them that we have a 2-foot overhang, 2-foot roof overhang, and that's typical. So that's all around our roof is going to be the same. And one more thing, I'm gonna put the slope on here so they can know, okay, what roof slope is this gonna be? So I wanna go to annotate. I'm sure there's another way to do this better, but I'm gonna go to text. I'm gonna click on, yeah, no, I'm gonna click cancel. I'm not ready to save yet. So for my text, I don't want to use a leader, so I'm just gonna select the no leader option. I'm gonna put, what I want is, I want this to be a 6. Press out of it. I want to put another number. This is gonna be 12. Click out of it. Hit the modify. So then I want to draw a line. I'm gonna go up to where you see detail line. I'm just gonna draw a line straight up and then over to the right a little bit like so. And I'm just click out of that. I want to move the 6. So this is just tells them that this is a 6/12 slope roof like that. I'm not sure if I'm experimenting as I go. So I'm gonna see if I can select these elements or items. I can do this. I don't want to hit the roof though. Yep, see it picked the roof. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me do this. Nope, I gotta do it this way. Yeah, so I left clicked and dragged it up to the right and it selected all that. So what I'm trying to do is, can I mirror this over to the other side? So I'm gonna select draw axis. I want to do it from the top of this roof straight up. And I hit modify. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So that's a 6/12 slope on both sides. And you need to put that because you could have like a 6/12 slope on one side, but maybe the other side's different. That happens a lot. So just let them know, okay, they're both 6/12 slope. I think we're pretty good on this on our south elevation. So basically we just kind of want to do the same thing for all the other elevations. And to be completely honest, I never liked this like east, north, south, west kind of nomenclature for your elevations. What I'm gonna, for my south, I'm gonna right click. Can I rename this? I'm gonna rename this as front. Probably not goofy like that. I'll do it like they have it. So front. So north is gonna be, I'm gonna right click, rename that to, that's gonna be the rear. And then the east, that's gonna be, right click, rename that, that's gonna be the right side. Right side. The west, right click that, and rename that, that's gonna be the left side. Okay, so we got our front elevation, we got our materials labeled, we got our roof overhang, we got our slopes on there. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop this video here and then we can continue on. So I'll do a front, I did the front, right? And I'll do a right side view. And I think from those two videos, you can do the left side and the rear elevation on your own because they're just basically the same process. So yeah, in the next video, I'll do the right side elevation. So make sure you come on back and peace out.